Popco Studios in Oklahoma City. You're watching the Press Row. I'm Jenni Carlson here with Barry Tramel. Barry, you're sitting down. What the heck's going on?
And mandatory, because you're sitting down.
Oh, okay, all right. It's a team effort around here. Hey, it's We Pick 'em. Let's talk about 5 topics.
Why are you sitting down, by the way?
I don't know. I'm feeling a little different these days or something. Hey, let's get right to it. Better NBA coverage, is it ESPN or is it TNT? And if you don't say TNT, I'm going to call shenanigans on it.
Well, we just spent 6 days with TNT, 6 games with TNT with the Thunder Spurs, and we're about to spend ever how many games with the ESPN with the NBA Finals. And I'm going to say ESPN
Shenanigans.
for this reason.
Shenanigans.
Sure, the pregame with Kenny and Chuck and Ernie is fantastic. The postgame, the halftime, everything about the studio better on TNT. But in the middle, in the game, the most important thing, way better on ESPN because of Mike Breen and Jeff Van Gundy. Nothing against Steve Kerr and Reggie Miller, but you're not as good as Jeff Van Gundy. So here's the deal. You can, with ESPN, you get a better in-game product, and really that's the most important thing.
Well, I admit that the game, I'd say it's close. I mean, I love Jeff Van Gundy. I'm not going to say I don't like Jeff Van Gundy. But I think Steve Kerr is really good. But I got to give it to TNT, Barry. The pregame and the postgame and the halftime, people don't go to their refrigerator or their bathroom to when they normally would because they want to watch these guys.
Why not have TNT still do its show on the NBA Finals?
It's a great idea. We've come up with a great solution.
Game day on ESPN, even when they don't have the game of the day necessarily, they still do game day from there. Come on, TNT. Come on.
Come on, it's go time,
Come
TNT.
back to OKC, Chuck. Come back.
All right, what about this one, Barry? Heat or Celtics? Which one's better for the Thunder?
Well, it's not even close. It's the Celtics. They just beat the Celtics. I mean, they just beat San Antonio, and the Celtics are San Antonio light. Bunch of old guys that know how to play, just not as well as the Spurs. Mm-hmm. The Thunder took them out. I think they would take out the Celtics with relative ease. I think the Thunder's going to beat the Heat if they played. But you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, Dwayne Wade and LeBron together can do magical things, so I think the Celtics would be a better fit.
Heat are much more of a wild card in my mind. You don't really know what you're going to get. Celtics are definitely better for the Thunder. Much more, you know what you're going to get out of the Celtics, and I think the Thunder would find out they're going to get a team that they could beat. The Heat, I think they can beat them as well, but they're so up and down, Barry. They have to be super frustrating for their fans to watch. I mean, for crying out loud. Some days they're playing great, and some days they're playing like they don't even belong in the Eastern Conference Finals. Just got to be so maddening at some level.
Would be great to see KD versus LeBron. Yeah. Also would be fun for Kendrick Perkins to go against the Bostons.
No doubt about that. Here's another NBA question, Barry. Thunder or Spurs in the West next season?
Well, right off San Antonio at your own risk. Their own players have written them off. Tony Parker said our window is closed. He said that a year ago, and then the Spurs became the best team in the league in the regular season. So don't write off San Antonio. But you have to believe that we saw sort of a changing of the guard the last 2 games. We saw the ascension of the Thunder. We saw the coronation of the Thunder in a Western Conference, which has been a closed society. 3 franchises have won all the West titles since '98. LA, Dallas, San Antonio. Yeah. The Thunder has crashed the party with a bunch of under 24-year-olds. Looks like the Thunder's here to stay.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I don't think you can say the Spurs are headed for the basement or anything like that, but the Thunder is definitely on the uptick. They've learned things throughout these postseason runs from 3 years ago to 2 years ago and now this year. It's unbelievable, Barry, how quickly they've come this far. I think we lose sight of that a little bit, that, this is a team that really is still young and really is still learning, and yet they figured out how to close games, how to win close games. It's unbelievable what we're seeing out of these guys right now.
I think Thunder probably has assumed the mantle.
All right, how about some football talk, Barry? BCS, we going to do this +1 thing with a committee or the BCS rankings?
Well, I think it's more likely that we do it with the rankings, but I vote for the committee for this reason. When we let something or some people decide something so important, I want to know who to blame. The problem with the BCS is, who do you blame? So many voters in the 2 polls. You're talking almost 200 people. Talking about anonymous guys doing these computer rankings. Guys you couldn't pick out of a police lineup. Give me somebody I can get my hands around their neck. You can do that with the basketball committee. You know who? There's 7, 8, 9 guys on the NCAA basketball committee. You know who to throw stones at. That's what we need. We need somebody to throw stones at.
Well, and maybe there's sort of a change in the BCS rankings. I wouldn't mind seeing a smaller committee involved with that Harris poll. Maybe use some of these folks we're talking about for a committee. I'm going with rankings because I think that the rankings have actually, in the last couple of years, you've seen those best teams in those best spots. So the rankings have essentially done their jobs. I still think having a system that only has one championship game come out of it is ridiculous. So I love this new change, but people are saying, well, there's all sorts of conflicts of interest with the committee. There's all sorts of conflicts of interest with every selection committee that the NCAA has, and yet it still works in the end. That would work. I think they'll go rankings, and I think for now that's probably the best step. Take it slowly, maybe get to a committee later, but it's a step in the right direction. I just don't know if they're going to go all the way to committee right away. All right, what about this, Barry? We're really going off the topics around here, going to the ice. NHL Finals, Devils or Kings? Who wins this thing?
Well, I don't know who's going to win it. I assume the Kings got up 3-0. Lead as I speak, it's 3-1. But I want the Devils to win for the best of reasons. I love the Seinfeld episode where Elaine's boyfriend's a Devils fan and paints his face and gets all, got to support the team. So I've been a New Jersey Devils fan for quite some time, ever since the 90s. And now I've told you everything I know about the National Hockey League.
That's nice, short and concise. I'm going with the Kings for reasons that have nothing to do with Seinfeld or any other TV show.
Sacramento has they have a hockey team too?
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, Kings up 3-1 in this series, dominated in New Jersey the first two games. Unbelievable story what they've done. They're still going to be the fourth or fifth biggest story in LA, but oh well. This is a great story what the NHL Kings are doing. I think that's a Kings win, Barry. I'm sorry. Down goes Elaine and the Devils.
Go Devils. Got to support the team.
Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.